Today, we are diving into a skill that can literally change your career and your confidence, how to speak clearly and powerfully in those unexpected moments. We're going to break down the brilliant, actionable insights from Matt Abraham's viral talk, so let's get right into it.
You know that feeling, right? Your boss just turns to you in a meeting and says, "So, what are your thoughts?" Or maybe you're at a wedding and suddenly you're asked to give a toast. Your heart starts pounding, your mind just goes blank. It's a universal moment of panic. But what if you had a toolkit to handle it every single time?
And if you've felt that panic, you are so far from alone. According to the research Matt cites, a staggering 85% of people report feeling nervous about public speaking. So let's just get this out of the way right now. If you feel that anxiety, you are completely normal. It is not a weakness, it's just a shared human thing.
Okay, so before we even get to what you're going to say, we have to deal with the root cause of that blank mind panic: anxiety. Now, Matt's really clear about this. The goal isn't to eliminate the anxiety. I mean, come on, a little bit of nervous energy can actually help you focus. The real goal is to manage it.
And here's the big reason why managing your anxiety is so important. It's not just about you. It's actually an act of service to your audience. Think about it. When you look super nervous, they start feeling uncomfortable for you. And when they're uncomfortable, they can't actually hear what you have to say. So, by getting yourself calm, you're making it possible for them to listen.
So how do you actually do it? Well, Matt gives us 3 really powerful techniques. First, when you feel those symptoms, the shaky hands, the racing heart, don't fight them. Just greet the feeling. Say, "Hey, anxiety, I see you. You're here because this is important." Second, reframe the whole situation. You're not performing. You're just having a conversation. And third, get present-oriented. Do something that snaps you into the now, like saying a silly tongue twister in your head, instead of spinning out about what might happen next.
All right, so you've got your anxiety in a better place. Now you're ready for the core of this whole thing. A 4-step framework that will give you confidence and clarity in pretty much any situation. Let's break it down.
This is without a doubt the biggest hurdle for most of us. We put all this pressure on ourselves to be perfect, right? To give the most brilliant, witty, life-changing answer ever. And that pressure is exactly what makes us freeze. So the very first step is just to let it go.
I love this. This idea comes from the world of improv, and it's basically your permission slip to not be perfect. It sounds so counterintuitive, I know. Dare to be dull? But by aiming for good enough instead of perfect, you release all that pressure. And the funny thing is, when you do that, you free up your brain and you often end up being way more brilliant than if you had tried to be.
Okay, step 2 is a huge mindset shift. When you're put on the spot, do you see it as a threat, like something you have to defend yourself against? Or do you see it as an opportunity, a chance to connect, to explain something, to share what you know? Shifting from that threat mindset to an opportunity mindset, well, it changes everything.
And here's another gem from improv. Yes and is what that opportunity mindset sounds like in action. Instead of resisting or getting defensive, which sounds like, "No, but," you accept the situation. That's the yes. And then you build on it. That's the and. This makes you a partner in the conversation, not an opponent.
This one feels so obvious, but in our panic to figure out what to say, we often totally fail to really listen to what was just asked. But your number one job as a speaker is to serve the audience, and you just can't do that if you haven't really heard them.
This phrase is just perfect. It's the best advice for listening well. Before you jump in with an answer, just take a beat. Pause. Process what you heard. That moment of silence might feel like an eternity to you, but to the audience, it just looks like you're thoughtful and respectful. It lets you respond, not just react.
And this brings us to the 4th and final step. And honestly, this is the secret weapon that ties everything else together. The key to speaking clearly in the moment isn't magic, it's structure. Having a preloaded mental framework helps you organize your thoughts instantly.
And there's some really cool science on this. Information that's structured is roughly 40% easier for our brains to process and remember. And get this, that's not just for your audience, it's for you too. A structure lowers your own mental workload, which makes it so much easier to get your thoughts out clearly.
Now, you don't need to memorize a dozen complicated structures. You really just need 1 or 2 simple, reliable ones in your back pocket. Here are 2 of the absolute best. The first is problem, solution, benefit, and the second is what, so what, now what. You can use these for almost anything, from a tough Q&A question to that surprise wedding toast.
This, right here, is the whole point. It seems like a paradox, right? But having a structure doesn't box you in. It actually liberates you. The structure takes care of the how you're going to say it, which frees up your brain to focus on what you're going to say.
It's the secret to sounding organized and confident, even when you feel anything but.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. We've journeyed from that initial moment of panic to getting our anxiety in check, shifting our mindset, and finally arming ourselves with a practical tool to deliver a really clear message.
So here's the game plan. First, manage your anxiety. Then, get out of your own way. Dare to be dull. Reframe the moment as an opportunity. Really truly listen to the prompt. And finally, deliver your thoughts using a simple, reliable structure like, what? So what? Now what?
Look, the goal here isn't just to understand these ideas. It's to actually use them. The next time your mind starts to go blank, just remember, structure sets you free. So I'll leave you with this question. Which one will be your go-to? Because having that answer ready is the very first step to thinking fast and talking smart.